Hey, what's up YouTube? It's been a while and I do apologize for that. It's been what, 2 months? I don't know, 1, 2, something like that. I do apologize, but as you're probably aware, I don't have a 3DS capture card, and so I've been kind of sitting here going, what do I do next? How do I get this taken care of? And so that's kind of what my thought process has been. But Pokemon or Showdown, not online, had an update just recently, and I kind of liked it enough that I was like, you know what? I think it's time to start putting out videos again. At least Pokemon Online videos. I mean, they're not as nice as X and Y, but there you have it. So, anyway, let's get right into the battle. If it'll ever, there we go. There it is. Anyway, I decided to lead with the Deoxys attack. It's a kind of a suicide lead, really. It's Sash with the Stealth Rock, Superpower, and Psycho Shift, as well as E-Speed. So anyway, I just go for the Superpower just because I was like, you know, it's super effective. It should be able to take him out. Doesn't do nearly as much as I thought it would, which is unfortunate. But it does allow me to do a lot of damage and get Dialga down to a nice point where I can easily revenge kill it and get my rocks up in the process too, which isn't bad. But unfortunately, Ho-Oh does not appreciate rocks, loses half its health, but thankfully I do have Regenerator. But in comes Mewtwo, and this thing's a huge threat, and so I decide just to go for the Brave Bird, because, well, at this point, Ho-Oh's nearly dead. Easily take it out. In comes Arceus, and I go for the Sacred Fire, going, well, if he Sword Stances, I might get this burn. If he decides to E-Speed, I'm not losing anything. Unfortunately, don't get the burn, and he has Shadow Force, which I never see on Arceus, but in this case, it worked out alright for him. Still, I managed to get the Arceus down really low, and in comes the Giratina Origins, and I figured I was going to lose Giratina. But I rested just because I figured, well, might as well try. Get the rest off, and then he goes for the Draco, and I'm able to take it because I am a Gastrodon, especially a defensive Gastrodon at that, and I really could care less about Giratina Origins attacks right now because it's Gastrodon. And, he does Will-O-Wispy just to get some residual going, and I fire off a Toxic. So, Giratina really has no business staying in on Gastrodon, but he stays in and roars and gets a Toxic in his face for his trouble. As I rest, and he goes for the Draco again, which kind of surprised me, considering he's already lowered and he's Toxic, but whatever. And of course, when I go for the Sleep Talk, I get rest, don't I? And then he switches out. I mean, it's really his only option. Goes in a ground, and I think, no problem, not a big deal. I'll just Will-O-Wisp it once I wake up. And, of course, again, I miss anything of mention because Sleep Talk decides to rest again. Go for the Willow, not a problem, and I miss. And this is a relatively large problem at that, because now his Earthquake's going to do a ton of damage, and thankfully, I am physically defensive, so I'm able to take it, and I get the Willow off, so he's not nearly as threatening as he was. But at the same time, I really don't know what to do about this guy. He's bulky, he's got leftovers, he's got +2. I mean, he's halved attack power thanks to the burn, but still. I just decide I'm going to try to do as much damage as I can before he knocks me out. And even burned, that does a ton of damage to Scizor. Easily a one-shot if he had the Fire Punch. Apparently he didn't. So, get off the 2 bullet punches, get him down to a nice low amount where I can take him out with my Gastrodon and likely survive a hit. I mean, it's not ideal, but he goes for Thunder Wave, which I don't understand one little bit. But I'm able to take it out relatively safely, and Gastrodon is being a champion again. If you've never tried Gastrodon Ubers, try it. It can take so many things, but in comes Shaman. I have no business staying in on Shaman. So I'm going to go right back to Dialga and eat a Leech Seed because of it. That was a pretty obvious switch. Really, Shaman has absolutely no business staying in. Or Gastrodon has no business staying in on Shaman. But thankfully my Dialga has Fire Blast, easily takes out the Shaman, and we're looking pretty good now. And at this point I was assuming I hadn't damaged Arceus, so I'm trying to play really careful. But the switch back to Gastrodon really was my best one, because recovery and Giratina really can't do anything to Gastrodon anyway. And that's exactly what happens. Goes for the Draco, take it, does just under half, which means with the leftovers, I mean, he does have a burn, so it's not quite as nice, but with the leftovers and recover, I'm easily able to sponge those hits over and over, and he's going to die to Toxic real quick, and he knows it. At this point, I decide, you know, I could probably go for a Scald, but just to be safe, because I was assuming that Arceus was still at full for some stupid reason, I'm just going to recover stall. In comes Arceus, E-speeds, does a ton of damage. I'm able to go for the Scald though, take out Arceus, leaving him a very badly damaged Giratina Origin that has Toxic status. And of course the rocks knock him down even further, which means no matter what he does, he's going to lose. And so that is the game. He decides to run, and I don't blame him one little bit. And really, once again, try Gastrodon out, noobers. You will not be disappointed. I have a lot of fun using it. I don't like facing one because it's so annoying, and really the best way to take it out is Toxic, or hit it on the physical side. Ice Beam does a decent chunk of damage, but especially defensive, Gastrodon can take Kyogre's Ice Beam all day, every day. So, point being, it really is best just to go ahead, either hit it with a grass move, hit it with Toxic, or hit it a lot on the physical side. There's really not any other way to deal with Gastrodon. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to bring up real quick was, what do you want me to do with future videos? I mean, if I just do Pokemon Showdown, it's going to get kind of dull after a while. I'm more than happy to do that, of course, but I was thinking maybe I could do something like, oh, I don't know, Let's Plays, or, hey, there's a secret here you can do on various games. Probably PlayStation 1, Nintendo DS, N64, NES, I mean, older generation games. I might do some reviews for games, both old and new, just to keep the channel moving until I can afford a capture card, because right now, I can't afford that. I don't know anyone who can, even, so, what with the economy being the way it is and things not improving. But on the plus side, I can do a few of those things, and hopefully, with time, I'll be able to afford a capture card. And that brings up another point I wanted to bring up, was in the future, I may monetize some of the videos, like the Let's Plays or something, so I can buy that capture card, so I can resume battling on 3DS. If that sounds like a decent idea, let me know. If not, well, alright, I understand. Anyway, feel free to weigh in, give me some ideas on what you want to see this channel do next, besides Pokemon Showdown, because, once again, I don't think that's really enough. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. I've rambled way too long, and I hope you enjoyed. Later.